Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sassy Girl Entrepreneur Show. I am Deanna Hins, your host. And today I have a friend, a very long friend with me, Hannah Satterfield, who, very long friend. She's not
Right.
tall. She's really not tall. But, but she has been a friend for the last couple years. And we're going to share about how we met shortly. But
Right.
Hannah is an English teacher. She teaches college students, and she is also in social media marketing.
Right.
And I wanted to bring her on because it is so important to pay attention to the words that we use when we're doing marketing for our business, and they can really make an impact on how you get your message across. So I see what Hannah's doing. I've paid attention to her posts and all the different posts that she does, right? We've touched base with each other several times over the last few years. And I'm like, she has to come on and we need to talk about this to share all these secrets. Hannah, how are you doing?
I am so good. Very busy, but that's not a bad thing.
Yeah,
So everything's really, really awesome right now.
I love hearing that. So just for our listeners, right? Hannah and I met 2 years ago. You just kind of informed me that off air. I can't
I,
believe it's been 2 years.
I know. I cannot believe it's been that long. I took a goal planning session with you, which was, I think, like your first one, right? Was that the first one we did?
I think so. I think that was the first round. It was right after I got my certification in goal planning success.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, so you were like one of the first ones that came
Yeah.
on board and said, I want to learn how to tackle my goals.
Right. And it was
And
so more like it was way more beneficial. Not that I didn't think that it would be beneficial. I just didn't know that I had done goal planning like that before. So like meeting you and doing the 6 weeks, I was really able to like dive into what I really wanted and I just wasn't expecting that and I was just like amazed. And now I look back like even 2 years ago and I still have that list of goals and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've accomplished this. I've accomplished this
oh my gosh.
on this. Like so many of my goals have been accomplished and like we really got down to those core values and core goals. Like some of mine, what did I say some of mine were?
Oh
To like
gosh.
more understanding and like open myself to
Boundaries.
opportunity, creating healthy boundaries. That's all of the difference in my life.
You're
Absolutely.
kidding. Oh my gosh, that means the world to me. I love hearing that. So thank you so much for sharing that. Honestly, you have no idea how much that means because, well, I remember when we first met because I did not know you prior to that. And I hope I don't like offend you, but you were like this timid, scared little girl, like afraid to use your
Yes.
voice.
Right.
And you just didn't know what to do. And it just you almost could see the weight that was on your shoulders
Yeah.
talking to you.
Right.
And through that process, and we had some roadblocks because there were some times where like,
I was
you
like
know,
crying on camera. I was scared. Yeah.
that's okay. But crying is okay. Crying is okay, right?
Realize that now. Like when I first did this, and I'm still a very anxious person. Like I mess, I'm like I'm so nervous. But so like I was so anxious for that when it was something that I really needed to do, and like I'm glad that I did that, and I opened myself to that opportunity and even this opportunity because it has led me to so many other things. So
Oh, that's
able to do that. I learned a lot by like of myself, I guess. Not just business goals or relationship goals or anything like that. Like I genuinely had a lot of work to do on myself and I was able
awesome.
to do that like through you and your guidance. So I appreciate you. So
Oh, thank you. You know, it's funny because you said you had to do a lot of work on yourself, and a lot of times I'll get a question and that people will ask me, well, if you do this and it's all business geared, do you do anything personal? I really don't do anything personal. I said, but those two worlds overlap. And when you
oh,
start
and-
pulling layers away in
right.
the business, every single time there it affects you personally and
Right.
vice versa, right? Your personal life affects your business life. And so although I don't say like
Right.
helping individuals, they absolutely overlap.
Right.
And uh I love hearing that. And I've been watching you from afar and paying attention to everything that you are doing on social media. And I mean, honestly, girl, you are like killing it. Like
You.
the ideas that you've come up with and the things that you are doing, I am like, she's got it. Like yes, absolutely. I think you're doing an amazing job.
I'm really trying to follow, like, I follow you and I check out all of your like newsletters and stuff like that you send out, but I'm also like, I try to put in the work to educate myself also, because I've told you before, I love to learn, you know? So putting myself in that position to learn more, I feel like then I can implement it better across like my platforms for business and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So yeah.
That's awesome. And you do have to, education doesn't stop.
Oh,
You know, the knowledge doesn't stop. When you do, you're going to get stale. So you have to keep doing that. So you
well,
keep going, girl.
social media, because things are always changing.
Right?
To educate yourself or you are going to be behind before you even know it.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And
Right.
that's why I feel doing these interviews are so important, because there's information everywhere. You can go online and you can find information about anything, but
Right.
finding reliable information is a totally other different story, right? So I love bringing people on that I believe are reliable, know what they're talking about. I've witnessed them, doing the right things,
Right.
and they've implemented proven strategies and continue doing that. So that's why I have you here. So I want to talk about today.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, enough about me. I can't even tell you how much I appreciate that intro. You
Oh.
kind of gave the whole intro on me,
Oh.
and I truly, it means everything to me. But I want to talk about
Yeah.
some tips that you can share. Being an English teacher, honestly, and being in social media,
Right.
you know, that's so powerful, because words are so important. The words that we use and how we say things, how we, the order we put things in. I mean, they really do mean a lot. And you are using your tools that you're teaching your students in college about English, how to really, you're implementing those same rules in how you're marketing on social media. So let's talk about, I know we have 5 different ways that you can use
Right.
language in social media to
And there's
really get
so
your message across.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I could go on forever and ever about all the different ways that we can use our language, but I think that it's our language is important because our weapon in business essentially is our words, especially with that's how we're communicating, unless we're
Yeah.
doing videos. But even then, your words are important.
Hmm.
You want to make sure that you're like creating your consistent voice for your brand and stuff like that. So yeah, your words are really important. And I never thought that teaching English and social media would like mix like that, but I was realizing, and that's why I sent you that message one day and I was like, "Hey, this is a really good idea. I didn't realize words had an impact on what we do with social media." So here
Yeah.
we are.
I know, and your timing was crazy, because I was getting ready to write a blog, and I'm still going to do this on the marshmallow effect, but I'm not going to share it because you're going to have to pay attention.
Right. Yeah, because
And
I know what you're talking about with that.
do
That's
you know what I'm talking
I
about?
don't. So I'm really
Oh, okay, okay. So, so you're gonna have to sign up for my newsletter so that you
I'm
can,
over it. I got
or
you.
yeah, or Apple Podcast, sign
Yeah.
up and follow so that you can catch when I talk about the marshmallow effect. But yeah, your timing, literally, I was working on that when you messaged me, and I'm like, okay, this something, everything happens for a reason.
Right.
So this reason must happen right now. So give me the first way that we can use language in social media.
So, something that's really important, I feel, is playing off of emotion. So,
Mm,
generally, customers, I think about it in a customer sense because we are selling physical product
yeah.
at a coffee shop. So, they want to feel some sort of emotion or storytelling, I find, with us. So because we are a small, like, hometown based shop and do a lot with our community, they like those stories, I find out. So when we're doing anything in the community, I make sure that, like, I'm there and I'm present and I'm talking to people to see how they feel about these things. And then I often pick out words that they use to describe these events or community actions, to then put into our story, primarily on Facebook, because that's the best for, like, longer stories and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But, like, tapping into that emotion, I find, is really, really important when you're finding your voice and using your words.
Oh
Well,
my gosh.
one
Yeah.
is tapping into that emotion.
Yeah. Emotion is really big. I mean, I don't know about you, but like, when you watch like those little videos, right, that you don't know the people. I always use the military videos, right?
Right.
When mom or dad is coming home and the their little girl or little boy like is surprised or runs or I bawl
Oh,
every single time. Like
yeah,
they have totally played into my
right,
emotion. I am a wreck. And
right.
so yeah, our emotion, we are able to really,
But we're emotional creatures. I mean, we
yeah.
emotions essentially about everything, right? So somebody's going to feel some type of way about whatever you post based on their experiences, you know? But it's still really important. I'm trying to think of a good story where I could pick out some wording. Do you have, like, an example of, like, a story that you've told where a specific word that you use is very important?
You know what? I don't have a specific word. I know there are several power words, and I will share
I
something when it comes
have,
to website design. Um, and coming up with things, you want to come up with like a title when you're blogging or
right,
naming these podcasts, right? That people are going to click on and they want to. So there are a lot of power words that you can
right.
use. And, like for example, one that I did yesterday, it actually went live today. I used the word unique
Yes,
because
yeah,
unique is
I have that one written down.
did you really? So I switched it. I was totally named something else, and I'm like,
Right.
nope, that's not really a good power word. There has to be something better, or I'll do like behind the scenes or sneak peek or anything where it's like, wait, I want to know.
That's exactly what the word, like, unique does. They're like, oh, well, what's different about this from every other thing? So, yeah, they're more likely to click.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yep. Yeah. So using certain words, those power words, when you're at use like creating social
Right,
media content is really important so that people will click on your post.
right. What was another one that I had? It was, this is probably going out of order a little bit.
That you're okay. Go ahead. You're good.
um, the sense of value. Like, so I know a lot of people, again, when I'm selling goods, or even you do your online courses and stuff like that, or your workbooks,
Yeah.
and people can sign up for those. Knowing that they're going to get some sort of value out of it is important.
Mhm.
So using those, like, triggering words. So, like, if you're doing, design, a course on design, you want to pull out those specific words that people are going to be looking for, that they want to learn. Like, I sent you that link, a couple weeks ago now. Remember, it was about this course on,
Oh yeah. I'm like, what link did you send me?
right?
Yes.
About an online course, and was it about using hashtags, words and
Yes.
hashtags and stuff? But I read through it and I was like, I don't think that this is anything that's going to be beneficial to me, because they, for me, didn't hit on any key words that I thought were important, that I
Yeah.
would get out of that. So I never ended up taking the class.
Yeah.
So things like that are really, really important when it comes to marketing whatever it is that you're trying to sell.
Right. Yeah. You definitely need to bring some value into it. And, a lot of times, even those value words can be sale or, you know,
Or giveaway, something
yes.
like that,
Yeah.
like a freebie. I had just posted something, um where, you grab a bag of coffee and you get a freebie, and then later in the post, so that they read through all of it, I posted, what that freebie will be. And I can't tell you how many people have walked in the door and they said, I saw the post on social media, I'm coming back. And it's because of those words that we used.
Yeah.
We did a sale, but I didn't want to use the word sale because everybody does that. What's
Yeah.
special about sale? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So it's finding those other words, those hot topic words. And I said giveaway, or like flash sale, like a 24-hour flash.
That's a great, you know why? Because that adds a sense of urgency, and I know the urgency.
That's a Yeah, that's another one, is
But
breaking it.
that flash.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that it's the sense that they might miss out on something. and it,
Yeah.
and that plays on fear, like our other category. They it's that sense of urgency. Now is a really good power word for that.
Right.
Like act now, or now available, or now open. I can't believe how much like now open was a big thing after the pandemic, and
Oh,
things
yeah.
opening back up, and all a business had to do was post now open. And
Yeah.
of course we're getting flooded with people, I noticed, because just that one simple
We
word.
were sick, and we were sick of being in the house. We were like
Yeah, I was personally sick of being in the house. I get that. But yeah, it let people know, people wanted to know at that point that somebody
Yeah.
was open and was going to take care of their needs. And that's what that message conveyed at that point.
So let me ask you a question, like
Sure.
on value, right? Because I know that I believe that, sometimes having those freebies and giving something away, is a great idea, especially when you're trying to build your newsletter, right? We talk about white papers and giving something free away. But if you do have a product, a lot of times you may not want to just drop that price. Like that doesn't always have to be the very first thing. So bringing value, could that be something like exclusive, where
Oh,
maybe
really.
there is just something that you can only get there, and that's the value of it. Like we've got something that somebody else doesn't
Doesn't have.
have.
Yeah, or something special. You know what I mean? Like an exclusive roaster, an exclusive T-shirt, or something that people really want, or that your consumers have shown that they really want. And
Hmm.
this is only offered here, or in this certain amount of time. Again, creating that urgency to try to get your buyers in the door, or
Yeah.
on your website specifically to
Yeah.
buy whatever it is. Or if you're doing anything online, like with your online classes, I feel that it would probably be pretty important to like list those keywords, or those hot topic words for the outcomes. Let
Yeah.
them know what that value is going to be without giving them all the secrets for right away.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great point. That's a really good point. And my mind is hopping somewhere else because I'm thinking in my head, which is not on this topic. A lot of times people are afraid to um, give too much away. They
Right.
want to hold on to stuff, and there's nothing wrong with giving a lot of way.
Right.
But again, that's not this topic. That's something else.
I,
So yeah, I could go off on a
I
total
know.
sidebar here. But we keep going back and forth, even though we're talking about value. I have your list of the 5 different things, but there's 2 that we keep ping ponging and referencing, and that's fear and urgency.
Yes.
And those 2 are really, really important. And I know we just shared a couple examples, but let's start with fear. And like talk to me a little bit about what do you mean by fear?
Well, fear is like our biggest motivator, right? We don't want to fail. We're fearful of that. You know what I mean? So if we can motivate people, this sounds really bad. Motivate
Yeah. That's okay.
you, I don't know, you know what I mean? We're playing on that fear that they're going to miss out, I guess. Wouldn't that essentially be like the main thing with fear, is that they're going to miss out on something special, and people want to feel that they're included.
Yeah.
So with that feeling of missing out, then it drives them essentially where we want them as a business owner, or as somebody who's selling something.
Right, right. So using those words to really, and again, that could be exclusive, right? Because I'm thinking it could be exclusive because if, well, maybe not, maybe limited.
Yeah, or like
Limited.
that wanting to feel protected. So like I'm trying to go out of what I do in business, but wanting to feel protected in a sense that something is guaranteed, maybe.
Yeah,
You know, they have that guarantee that we're not going to go back on our word. You know, that
yeah,
simple word guarantee, that it puts that faith in someone that we're going to stick to what we said, and
yeah,
then it kind of settles that fear almost. So it's like fear can work two different ways, you know what I mean? It
yeah,
can drive them to do something based off of that fear, or I guess it could make somebody feel more settled in their decision because you're providing that comfort, I guess, that
yeah,
protection from the.
yeah. I get that. And we're talking about fear and urgency, right? Fear of missing out. And I don't know about your emails, but like I subscribe to a lot of people's email that I follow and I like and I love what they share, right? And there's so many times you see the same things, right? It's closing, doors are closing. You're going to miss out. 24 hours left. Don't miss out. And I will sit and I'm like I get that feeling like I don't want to miss out. Is it worth it, right? So
I know,
first I'm checking it out and then I'm seeing if it's bringing me value. So
right?
it's almost like I'm going through this checklist of emotion, right? I want this, I need this, I don't want to miss out. Once the doors close, I can never get it back again, although chances are good you can.
Exactly. Or the better sale after that, you know?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
time when I'll buy a whole bunch of clothes or something because it says,
Oh,
you know, clearance.
it's like Bath and Body Works.
Yeah, every time. Every time. It doesn't matter. Every
And
time.
here's the thing, their stuff is always on sale, right? It's not like every time you walk in there, it's on sale. But when you get that email or you walk in, you're like, I'm going to miss out,
So
even though you know.
what is it about those captions then that's making us click on it, and it's the same sale we've done every month, you know? But you know, too, and this kind of plays into language a little bit, is those keywords, but also strategizing using emojis. So for
Oh, yeah.
like flash sale, when I posted something about a flash sale, like using those little lightning bolts and then having flash sale be the only caption, and then putting all of the information underneath. But that grabs people's attention because there's those
Yeah.
little, and it's not too much, you know,
Yeah.
tastefully done, because I've seen where people just go overboard with emojis, and then they don't fully explain things, or they don't use those keywords because they feel that the emojis are a stand-in, and they're
Yeah.
not. They
Yeah.
they can work to help you though in what you're trying to portray.
Yeah. No, emojis can be a whole topic in itself because
Oh,
people
yeah,
they do use emoji and it's good because the emojis make us more real.
absolutely.
Not every business can do emojis. It just
Right,
depends on your audience,
right. I would agree.
but they do make you look more real and relatable. So emojis, I would love to get an emoji, somebody who just focuses on that and the psychology behind that
That's really
on my show. If anybody's listening, if there is such a thing as an emoji specialist,
well, super funny that you say that, because
you
when
know one?
college, well, no, when we were in college, we studied different dialects, and we actually had the opportunity to study emojis and how they are a language of their own, essentially, and how you can tell a story with emojis. So that's really interesting. Now, don't ask me about it because I can't remember.
Okay, that's okay.
One, it wasn't my presentation, and two, I don't even know if I was there at that point, but I ready to graduate and get out of there. But yeah, no, there's an actual psychology behind your use of emojis. It's
I'm
crazy.
sure.
It's
I'm sure. I would love to have somebody on
that would be,
who
I would
it
like,
would be super I might have to look for
that would be really
somebody who specializes in emoji. And
I cool.
I have no idea. I'll go to Google or Safari and I'll look it up and see. I think it'd be so cool to talk to them just to see exactly, just all all the little behind the scenes tricks and tips we can learn about emojis, but that's too funny. So we have emotion, using language for emotion, bringing value, fear, sense of urgency. So we have one more. What is the fifth way to use language when you are, oh, I think we did talk about it, didn't we?
A value, that one.
Safe, being taken care of.
Yeah, kind of being, and that almost, like I said, plays kind of hand in hand with fear. Like the fear
Yeah.
motivates them, or we're providing that sense of safety for the consumer. Um, let's see if I had any examples for that. Like I said, yeah, guaranteeing, backing something up, or like saying that things are certified.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
You know, if it's certified, then you're like, oh, well, this is legit. Okay, so this is maybe something that I can get behind. Um, I really think that people, they want to feel safe, especially because money is such a hot topic all the time, and people, they protect their money, you know. So like, if we can convince them that our product or what we're providing to them is safe and worth their money, it's valuable, then
Yeah.
they're more likely to spend their time and money with us, I guess.
Yeah.
You know, because they feel like it's, if it's certified or if it's guaranteed, we're backing it up, and that they feel better about that decision making process behind spending their money.
That makes so much sense. And I'm thinking, as you're talking, I'm thinking of things that I've seen and things I've purchased because of that.
Like
And
what?
well, a program. I signed up for a
Oh,
program, right? And I don't know what words were used. And obviously, the person I signed up for, I have followed her for years, and well, Amy Porterfield, which is,
okay.
a lot of people know who Amy Porterfield is. Um, and I think she's awesome, right? Her courses are not cheap at
Right.
all.
But I'm sure it'll be worth it.
But you know what? Yeah, I've followed her for a long time, and I trust her. I believe what she says.
Right.
I've seen other people who have followed her become successful, right? And everybody will put a testimony with, and I just go and look to see what that person's doing now.
Right.
And I like stalk them on Facebook and Instagram and their website.
Right. Right.
To say, like, is it legit, or is it just like somebody, who just has a referral, right? But so anyhow, yeah. So I don't know what words were used,
Well,
but
how
it,
long
it probably was
before you took action and signed up for something of hers?
probably 10 years.
Wow.
I followed for a long time. And I'm glad you asked me that, because a lot of times when we are promoting and marketing, we think that people will pull the trigger right away. And if they don't, right, we get discouraged and we get frustrated.
Yes.
And a lot of times, I mean, a lot of like people that I'm signing up for their course now, there's no way I would have been able to afford it when I
Right.
started, to be
Right.
honest with you,
Right.
or to attend those things. But they brought so much value, free value,
Right.
that I kept going. I kept implementing and paying attention, right? So now I can get all the extra stuff that you can't find when you
Right.
Google for free, right? It's all those little secret tips and tricks that they use
Right.
that now I get to, right? But no, it took me 10 years
That's really
to
interesting,
do that.
because then it makes me think, like, what about it with that email that you got or whatever it was for you to sign up? Like, what grabbed your attention enough after 10 years to make you finally take her course, you know? And that kind of
Yeah.
about business and maybe your own clients or people or prospective clients, you know, like, what is it that I'm saying or not saying that's hitting or not hitting with my clientele or people that could be my clientele?
Mhm.
That's really interesting.
It's probably, I don't know what the word is. It was
Right.
probably several things that was said, and it probably wasn't in one place. I get her email. Her ads follow me.
Right.
I follow her on Facebook and on Instagram. So I'm seeing the same thing multiple times. and I got to share this too. Then we're gonna, but a lot of times somebody will post something one time and they're like, "Well, I posted it and nobody responded."
Right.
But you have to keep posting it in different places. Like you might feel like you sound like a broken record,
Right.
but it's seeing it over and over before somebody realizes that they need your product.
Exactly. I mean, I felt bad for like posting a post to my regular Instagram or whatever, the business Instagram, and then posting it to the story. And I'm like, well, some people just check the story and it will get lost in their feed. They're not going to see it.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because maybe I carry it over or carry some posts over to Facebook. And I'm like, well, the same people are seeing this. It's not.
No, they're not.
They're not, because and different people, especially with our business, have different platforms. We have a little bit of a younger following on Instagram and Twitter than we do on Facebook, where it's a little bit more broad.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really yeah, about 14 other things. And
I know. So I have one more question for you before we wrap this up. One piece of advice that you can share with our listeners.
okay, one piece of advice. I would say I'm in a little bit different boat than everybody because I do work for people. I don't right now have my own business, but one thing that I have found that's really important is finding a consistency in your voice. So relating back to our words, because I'm the English major, it just makes sense.
Right, right. Which is perfect.
Right. Finding the consistency in your voice, because your voice is your brand, essentially.
Mm,
How you're conveying yourself is who you are and who you choose to be across your platforms, and it's how people see you. So
yes.
consistency and and rolling with it, being able to, find the ways that work for you and for your customers, and then they're more likely to be your loyal customers, essentially.
Right. That is great advice because I'm going to tell you why that's so good. It's so good because a lot of times we compare ourselves to somebody else.
Yeah.
So, and I hear this from newbie clients, right? They compare themselves to their competitor and then they try to talk like their competitor.
Right.
And that's not your brand's voice.
Exactly.
Even if you have similar targets and similar audiences, you've got to have that authentic voice. So I love that piece of advice that you just shared of having consistency in your voice.
Right. And
That is absolutely important.
people may not find their voice immediately. You may not have that. Like, I feel like it takes time to figure out what it is that you're trying to say, especially when you're new in business. Like, the voice isn't just automatically there. You're figuring things out, and it may take some time, and that's 100% okay. Like, I
Yeah.
just want people to know it's okay to take time and figure things out.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
important.
Hannah, thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate this conversation. I love just seeing you because you are like, I mean, I'm telling you, you were like this timid little girl that was like afraid of her shadow. And I might be exaggerating just a little bit, but I'm not too
Right.
far off.
Right, I know.
And
It's it's really been a beautiful journey with
I
you.
love it. I love it. And I know you were nervous to do this.
Also nervous. Oh my
And you stepped out of your comfort zone and
no,
you did it.
I
So I applaud you.
ability, because that's where I grow, is through being uncomfortable. So I'm so glad that you asked me. I feel honored. I'm so glad I did it, and like I didn't get sick before, so
No.
it's all great. Fantastic.
I love it. I love it. Well, Hannah, thank you so much. And I appreciate you. And I look forward to the next time we get to sit together and chat over coffee or wine.
Yes. Oh, for sure. Let's hit up the wine next time.
All right. Perfect. Perfect. We'll catch everybody next week. Bye.
See you guys.